What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Jokes. I'm here with Sin. That's right. Jokes is here at the beginning.
At the beginning, on time.
That's exactly
Actually,
right.
was in here before Sin was actually.
Yeah. And you are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all the things that are happening in pop culture. And
Today,
today we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct slash showcase. That's right, Cuddy, a full house. Now imagine if only we could do that when it's time to play co-op games.
That's asking too much.
We're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct. We're gonna talk about the new Sonic 3 trailer, and then maybe a couple surprises. Is there a curveball? I don't know. I don't know. I have thoughts about the Nintendo Direct that I think we'll get there. But first, Jokes, you have a job to do.
yes, sir.
Jokes will get the Beacons link up for you. That way you can follow us everywhere. Sin,
Yes, sir.
you have a job to do.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. It's very true. It goes without saying, but we're saying it anyway. We do appreciate you. Man, Nintendo Direct. I'm not sure where to start. So here's where I'm going to start. Jokes? Thoughts on the Nintendo Direct?
It wasn't for me.
That is one way of putting it. Sin?
It was it turned out being a couple of things that did pique my interest in there that I didn't expect to see coming, but it was just meh overall.
Yeah. I'll do it. It was trash.
Garbage.
That was trash. This is probably the worst Nintendo. Here's the thing. This was a combination. This was a Nintendo indie showcase as well as
That threw me
a
off.
Nintendo partner direct. So this was two separate events put back to back to run together for a full 40 minutes. And let me tell you something. I don't know if I've ever been quite so bored watching a video game like direct of any type. Like, this joint was trash. What's up, Heather? Here's the thing. It's not to say, what's up, Doctor Who, that there weren't things that, like, I'm like, okay, that could be cool. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing I was interested in. However, that I thought weren't decent announcements. However, the fact that we just came off of Gamescom and so much of the stuff that they talked about here was already shown at Gamescom. The fact that we just came off of Gamescom and they weren't there and they could have put this stuff out and shown it or just said, like, yep, coming to Switch, because that's basically what it was. This joint was a waste of time and energy and
I didn't know
effort.
it was two different ones. So when the first one, when the indie one ended, I was like, Am I tripping? Like
But
that's
see, they strategically did that because
They said it right at the beginning of it, like when it starts though.
if they're there. But normally when they do like these, the indie one normally comes on after the actual, I don't want to say partner showcase, but when they do like their main direct. That's valid.
Which says you're not supposed to watch, you're supposed to read the headlines. Here's the thing, dog. It's kind of our job to watch it.
facts.
And then talk about what headlines there should be. There are no headlines for this except trash. Jones trash. You're right, Jokes. Normally, one, they never put these two together. They are generally spaced out, like pretty well. So I have a couple of theories about what this is and why it happened the way it happened, and we'll get to that. Cuddy says, was it worse than what y'all perfectly predicted last week about game control or something that has extremely low numbers primed to play? Yeah. It's like, all right, look, here's the thing. We are for real, the life cycle of the Switch should already be over. We're really pushing it. So, like, the other thing about this is, while for the most part, like, while the announcements were not exciting for real or that great, there were like really no big surprises. Everything looks like trash.
Dog, it looked
all
horrible.
Just looks so bad.
Hey, listen, just getting, I don't want to get too far, like, but like they showed Stalker coming to the Switch, and
that looked good, bro.
That looked like a hot mess.
I thought I was tripping at first. I'm looking at Ghost Simulator, like, this looks horrible.
That looked horrible. Goat Simulator, like it should be like.
Looking at the Power Wash Simulator, I'm like, is my TV broken? Like, this looks horrible.
No, dog, it's not you. It's Nintendo. It's always Nintendo. It's always been Nintendo. And it's like, look, man, you get away with that for a little while. You know what I mean?
It's obvious now.
The Switch is like 8 years old, bro.
It's done.
Dated. Yeah.
And you know, look, they said when they made the announcement like yesterday that they were doing this today, they were like, we're not going to talk at all about the Switch.
I didn't even know this was on.
Or whatever the predecessor, you know, whatever the next console is going to be, the successor for the Switch is going to be. But yes, you did. You definitely just talked about what the successor to the Switch is going to be. Because it has to look better than this. That's all. That's your
selling point.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Nothing that they showed, honest to goodness, nothing they showed is designed to move Switch consoles anymore.
Oh, no.
Like, they're not, like, you know, they already gave us Metroid Prime 4. Like, they showed it to us anyway. It's not supposed to come out till beginning of next year. This stuff, and like, we'll get into some of what they showed, because, you know, here's the thing, like, for a lot of people and for a long time, like, the Switch has been a really good indie machine, right? And, you know, that's cool. And I think it's really cool and important for a major company like Nintendo to give these indie developers a spotlight, a space to go and talk about it and showcase their games. In some cases, they're like timed exclusive indie games. That's kind of like, I guess what that really means is Nintendo paid them to keep it out of other people's hands, you know, until later, which is like, that's kind of getting old, bro. I think it's time to get past that. Like, we got to figure out another, like, here's the thing. I'm at a place now where this just kind of helps solidify for me that, like, I'm at a place now where we have to start as the consumers demanding that the three big ones, right? The Nintendo, the Sony, the Microsofts, stop using their money to try to make something exclusive or like hold something from other players for an extended period of time, as opposed to maybe giving them additional money so that they do something like, I don't know. I don't even want to say like a particular character or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, look, if you want to put a Link outfit or something in a game for somebody to wear or have something like that, you know what I mean, or whatever. But like, let's not keep doing this thing where we just try our hardest to keep games out of the hands of the other people. Like, let your hardware speak for itself.
Mhm.
Let people decide based on the controller that they want to have or whatever. Like, we can get into again that whole Indiana Jones coming to like PlayStation thing or whatever, but like that's just kind of where we are now, where like I don't know, man, like this just kind of proves to me that we've come so far in games and game development and what we can do that we've almost come too far. Meaning that like they almost need to rely on indies and so forth in order to have stuff for you to play that holds you to their platform in some way until they can finally get something made. It should not take 8 or 9 years to make a new Metroid Prime game.
Facts.
A Metroid Prime is a basic, like it's a basic joint. Like there's no, like because the Switch isn't doing anything crazy enough or like ridiculous enough. Like again, maybe there's an issue with the story or they're doing something with a new engine or whatever. Like there could be any number of things. I understand that game development is kind of crazy and there's all kinds of things that can happen. But like, dog, when it takes 5 to 7 years to develop a single game, like the complaints that people have about how like we're not really seeing jumps and leaps in terms of like how games look / play, new ideas, stuff like that. The reason why that is happening is because what up, Perk? That's happening because it takes so long to develop a game that by the time you're done, your new ideas are old. The stuff that you're going for at the time when you decided to start, like if you look at Concord is a game that people are saying is incredible, is great, super fun to play. The people who are playing it are having a good time. It's a dud. That game's been in development for 8 years, dog. That is 8th grade to college graduate, Slim.
Honestly, and you know what? That's literally a console generation.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. It's an entire generation, and at this point, technically less than most generations are now, because generally they're 6 to 7 years. 8 years is a very long time to be developing a game that by the time that game hits, personally, most people want those cinematic type of games which take years to make. You're right, and they're right. So there's a couple of things. One, games are going to have to be shorter. But they want to charge like crazy. So they got to be shorter and they got to bring the pricing back down. We got to figure out what that structure is. 2, you are going to continue to see less of an evolution because how many new engines and iterations happen as you're making a game that you started 8 years ago and it's just now coming out, right? What have we figured out? What have we done? And games come out and they're like, this looks good. It feels good. You're still having people that are like, I can't get this joint to run at 60 frames 4K. I should. Well, you started developing this joint in 2015 with an engine that's not designed to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so all of the things that we're complaining about as consumers are happening because it takes so long and so much money to develop the kinds of games that we want / need that like we kind of have to rely on indies. And even they are struggling to get games done and completed in like realistically short periods of time. And that is why we're seeing the crazy kinds of like layoffs that we're seeing. Because like you can't sustain that kind of a business model where it used to be like maybe 2 to 3 years, it's time for another one. It's not supposed to take 8 years before you get a sequel to a game.
Fact.
It's just not. You know what I mean? What are you doing in the meantime? So they're like sticking us with remakes, rehashes. Sometimes it's a full remake. Sometimes it's like a skin over top of the old remake. So like we got to do something and we got to push something out there. Let's pull these people off of this project and have them work on this so we can get this out fast. So we have something that's bringing money in some manner so that we can continue to feed the beast. And like, I'm not saying we shouldn't want these experiences. They've given them to us. But dog, how long you think it's going to be before you get the next Last of Us?
Oh.
Ooh. The
minute.
Next, almost damn near probably the next console.
And if you think about what, like Insomniac laid off a bunch of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know that they're working on Wolverine, right? But they got to do a follow-up to Spider-Man, unless Wolverine is a sequel to Spider-Man, which it could be.
Well, you got a point.
But it's so bad that they're having to take things that are supposed to be DLC and just be like, you know, let's just put this joint out by itself and charge like $40-$50 and see what we can do, because they can't, like, it's so unsustainable. So I'm watching this freaking Nintendo Direct and I'm looking at this joint. I'm like, dog, everything, even the indies that are just kind of cute, not a super powerful, heavy game with all kinds of ray tracing and whatever. I'm like, they look okay. Everything else looks like garbage. It looks like trash. And we're more sensitive to it now because we're beginning to get used to seeing things with shadows and lighting and ray tracing and like 60 frames, 30 frames, somewhere in there. You know what I mean? And like, you're putting Stalker on the, why? Why are you even putting that on the Switch?
That I don't even understand.
Yeah.
It's got a large install base and there's money to be made there. Like in some form. But like when you tell me you're porting the Capcom Fighting Collection to the Switch, I'm like, well, you better be selling that joint with a controller. You can't play that joint with a Joy-Con.
No.
You might as well just pack that up. So it's like, I don't know, man. This is the first time I feel like it actually looks like Nintendo is hobbling along. Like whatever the struggle is with them getting to the finish line on whatever this new console is, this made it very clear to me that this was not supposed to happen. They were supposed to be ready to be putting these newer titles out on whatever the next iteration is, and they are shoehorning these joints in and just trying to show you something. We just got to get through the holiday. You know what I mean? And then we're going to make an announcement and it's going to be cool. Now, again, before we get too deep into what we liked and didn't like or what mattered and didn't matter, it's also relatively common for Nintendo to do a Direct in September. So for them to come out at the end of August with a double Direct makes me think that either there is a special Direct coming that was maybe directly for like Metroid or something like that, where they're going to do like a deep dive, or we might in fact be getting ready to get like our first glimpse at what the new hardware is going to be.
I agree.
And they're going to tell us not to expect it until next
March
year,
sometime.
but it is coming.
Spring.
And it might be time for them to say whether or not all of this stuff they're talking about is going to come over. Will it work on both, kind of thing? Because I honestly think they're at a point now where they don't need to keep selling Switches. They've made so much money on Switches. They've crossed so many thresholds in terms of like breaking records or whatever. They're almost caught up with the Wii.
Okay.
In terms of breaking their own record of being the number one selling console. So like, are they going to move Switches this holiday? Yes. Like, it's definitely going to happen. But like, also keep in mind, there's never been a price drop. They put out the OLED, and it was like a $50 drop when the OLED came out. And other than that, it's just been like, this is what it costs. And the same thing with the other consoles. There's been price hikes. They went up. They didn't go down. And we kind of already know there's supposed to be a PlayStation Pro coming out this holiday. So Tokyo Game Show is coming. And somewhere between Tokyo Game Show and the Game Awards, I feel like if they're putting out a PS5 Pro, they got to tell us in like the next month, because they got to get pre-orders.
Agree.
They got to get pre-orders in. So like that announcement's coming, and there's a couple of things that's gonna do. First of which being it's gonna make the Switch look even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Sad. Sad.
Sin,
yeah.
what stood out to you from this direct?
The one thing that stood out to me on the indie side was Pico Park 2. Because I watched people play it online, and it is nothing but pure fun and madness. And the first time I saw it, I was like, that is a extra life
title
run thing right there. So I was happy to see that because I was like, oh, I know that game. I follow people that play it. So
on that note, I want you to look up where else that game's coming.
Oh, that joint is a
Steam
time,
and all that kind of stuff.
console.
Right, look, we don't have to get it on the Switch.
It was one of the time console exclusives, right?
Yeah, because Pico Park 1 is definitely like on Steam and everything. So
yeah.
Okay. Let me see. As far as let me back up from the indie direct because I wrote it down. As far as the partner showcase, of course the Capcom Fighting Collection. I strictly want that for SNK vs. Capcom 1 and 2. Like everything else, cool. But I really
Star Gladiator, dog.
Oh yeah. Oh, they had a bunch of them on it that like I came up on. I was like, okay, that's gonna be a good collection for me to have. So
where's Rival? Just stop playing around and put the.
They had like a fake Rival Schools thing on there. Like they was jumping some dude in the yard. I was like, all right, let's do this.
Fake dog.
Power Stone. Like, okay, yeah, nothing but bangers on there. I'm all in. So I want that. The Altair Yuma. I'm really interested in. That's something I've been looking at for years on PlayStation when it always goes on sale, like for Golden Week and end of the year sales. There's like 5 of them and spinoffs, and I've been looking at them and I wanted to get into them, but since this one has a brand new protagonist and I can get into the world, all that kind of stuff, I think I'm gonna start this one and start my entry to see if I want to get into the rest of the series. So that's a definite one. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster. That's an old school classic for me. So yes, I will get that and throw it on there. Tales of Graces, I'm on the fence about because that was the one Tales I didn't like.
Tales of Grace. Maybe the remake is going to make it worth it.
Help a little bit.
They got some quality of life updates and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just on the fence with that one. You know, as a Tales fan.
Where else is it coming, dog?
Oh, I don't know. So
yeah, that's a look it up and see.
See, they didn't say timed exclusive or anything, so that could just be one of those that just the same time drops on. That seems like that will go to Game Pass to me. Like I feel like.
There are several of them that feel that way.
Yeah.
And the last one that I'm actually interested in is the new Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. I think it was my Game Boy Advance, or not the Advance, but the DS. Like I had a Rune Factory on there. I played the hell out of it. I would still play it to this day if mine wasn't broke. So just this new take on it, twist on it. I'm interested in it. I just want to hear some more things about it and make a decision. But those are the things that stuck out to me personally.
Jokes?
Kind of mirroring a little bit. So on the indie side it was 2. So the Pico Park, definitely. Funny enough, the two titles that stood out to me on the indie side were both the ones that were the time exclusive. It was funny that it actually ended up working out that way. Peglin, like the pachinko, put the ball in, let it kind of roll. This is what's going to strengthen up your person that you're doing, like the turn-based fighting type thing. I was like, okay. I was like, you're speaking to me a little bit with that. And I thought the pachinko thing was a interesting little addition that I've never, really seen in something that I've played before. So I was like, all right, I kind of like that.
It's weird. It kind of reminded me of like Puzzle Fighter. Like I don't know if you've ever played Puzzle Fighter, but like if you think about Puzzle Fighter and how it works, and you have the two characters there, but you're basically doing the puzzle, and that's creating attacks that are hitting each other. It kind of has that vibe, but then it also has the RPG vibe. The one thing about it that I'm like, I don't know, is the fact that it's a roguelike. And I have a tendency to not really bang with like roguelikes or roguelites. Hey, listen, my man got kicked. What that means, y'all. And
sir, you were spot on with that.
Called it because I can.
Welcome back.
Sin Fiction A.
Done.
The idea that like that game kind of has, like you were saying, hey Kai, like the amount of damage you do when you do your attacks is like you're basically throwing the pachinko itself at the enemies, and like however many things it hits and what it does in there determines like it's a very interesting idea. Like I really like the idea of it. That's that time exclusive. Like, well, as soon as that exclusivity is over,
I'm good with waiting for it.
And I bet that joint comes to Game Pass.
Straight up. Looks like one. On the partner side, honestly, same thing since that. Like Rune Factory, I did like the way that looked on there for it. I'm interested in the Tales game. I haven't fully jumped into the world of Tales, so I've been trying to find little nuggets and ways to get in. Obviously, we have the newer titles on the Xbox and a couple others, but I'm like, I'm interested, but it's like if this comes out and it's like a whole, full $60.
Go play Vesperia.
Go play Vesperia. I'll probably jump into that beforehand on there.
Yeah.
Those are honestly the main ones. Like I'll give them Yakuza coming to the Switch. I was like, okay, cool. It didn't
look bad.
It didn't look as bad as some of the others did.
Because it's a all right, go ahead.
But for some people, for whatever reason, if you only have the Switch, you were never able to play them. Cool, you're now going to be able to at least jump into the first one. At least jump into the first one. I think
that's the main thing. Look, I mean, I'm to keep it a buck. Like the ability to play on the go is probably the only real reason to do anything on the Switch unless it's exclusive. Like it just otherwise, there's no point. Steam Deck is like double the price of a Switch. You know what I mean? And let's just keep it a buck. Like this is more cumbersome to deal with the idea of like installing and uninstalling and drivers and all that stuff, which is why PC gaming just isn't taking off. It's too complicated. So, like, I don't know, dog. I haven't enjoyed a handheld since the original Game Boy, for real. I have liked some of what they have done and the ideas behind them. I've owned way more of them than I ever should have because I just don't. I can't play them. But there were some of the games that were on here that I'm like, man, if these joints were on something else, I'd be so in. I think probably the most important thing they talked about was Balatro. So like the first game they showed on the indie side was Balatro. And Balatro is
a card game.
It's a card game. They had all the crossovers with all the different other indie titles. The thing about Balatro is that Balatro is likely to be a lot of people's game of the year this year. It's basically a new take on poker. So like if you think about like Solitaire and how there's like all these different versions of Solitaire, Spider Solitaire and stuff like that, it's kind of like that. It takes what poker is and adds a bunch of other things into it that like people are absolutely obsessed with Balatro. And for it to be a small indie game and for it to be tearing up the charts the way that it is, and it came out at the beginning of the year. And people are still talking about it at least being in their top 10, if not in their top 5 or top 3.
Okay.
And kind of waiting on like some of these bigger games that are coming out at the end of the year to kind of see where it falls. But for a lot of people, Balatro is that big of a deal that they have been able to do these deals with and do all these crossovers with all these other games, which is like, again, why for it to head up, the showcase was kind of a big deal. There was a game called Neva that they showed. It's coming out October 15th. This is made by the same studio that made the game Grease, which is just a beautiful, incredible game. It was originally it was only on PC Game Pass. It's in regular Game Pass now.
Okay.
It's just kind of like a really beautifully animated, incredible music, kind of a mysterious kind of like you just look at it and it's like I'd like this. They're not complicated. Slight puzzles. You basically run right and do a puzzle. Run right and do a puzzle in Grease. But they make really good stuff, so I like that. Here's the trick. Coffee Talk Tokyo. What, Jokes?
I kind of, I don't know. It was weird. Even it was just, I was like, okay, I'm a little interested in this.
So Coffee Talk came out on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a year ago. The original Coffee Talk is available on Game Pass. Yeah. Take a look. It's cool as getting a sequel. That's kind of what it got. Sea of Stars, also a really dope joint that came to Game Pass. It's still available in Game Pass. It's basically a new version of Chrono Trigger. It's like it's dope. And so for them to be getting free DLC is dope as far as that's concerned. Only because of the satisfaction of what this game is. Power Wash Simulator having a Shrek pack.
Cool.
Because
what's
Power
Shrek
Wash
locations? Yeah.
Because Power Wash Simulator. That's it. That's all. Date everything.
No.
hey, listen. That's all I go.
Slam on the brakes, bro. Like, nah.
You can date anything.
I'm good.
You can even date the game.
I don't need to date the cabinet. All right, I don't need to date the cabinet.
Listen, I saw this last week at Gamescom. They had the developers like on stage and did an interview, and they.
It's gonna happen again now. Probably.
I was on the edge of my seat.
You're making this difficult, son.
Nothing is happening over here.
And listening to them talk about it, listening to the amount of dialogue, all the time and effort, the names that they created for it, that joint just looks like silly and fun. And like, yeah, I'm down. I'll run a dating sim. It's coming to Xbox, so I'm not worried about the fact that it's gonna be on Switch. I'm only bringing it up because, like, again, it's cool. I saw it last week, and like, you know what I mean. We already talked about Peglin. There was a joint they showed in like a montage at the end of the indie joint called Europa, which just looked dope. I just need to look more into it. I don't know what it is, but it actually looked like it was going to be pretty dope. That's for another thing. As far as the partner showcase was concerned, kudos to Tetris Forever. Tetris is probably the greatest game ever made. So, like, cool that they're giving you all the different versions of Tetris and all that kind of stuff in there. That's cool. I'll be looking for that joint to show up somewhere else. Obviously, the Capcom Fighting Collection, we already talked about that. And for me, the Suikoden 1 and 2 remake, HD remakes were like, because I'm already kind of on the Dragon Quest 3 remake thing.
I feel yeah.
But Suikoden is like
classic. Both of them in one game, HD remaster. Yeah, like can't lose.
It's kind of a good why not. That's pretty much it, man. I don't, you know.
Sounds sounds about right.
It joint was trash. They should never do that again.
I listen, honestly, I thought that when it's the partner showcase, I thought was gonna do a little bit better. Like, obviously when they said partner, I'm like, oh, okay, some of these main third-party games about to come to play on this one right now. Nope.
Hey, bro, that was like the most disappointing one last thing I think I've ever seen.
It was, but I like just I'm happy that people finally get to play it over there. But it was like underwhelming. Like Kiwami, I mean, that's my franchise, so kudos. But that's a weak last ending. Like Kiwami's been around forever. Like it's nothing.
Not on the Switch.
Right, just now throwing it on the Switch.
Looking like trash.
Yeah.
Let's watch the trailer.
Sonic, you finally found your family.
Try to keep up.
I know it hasn't always been easy, but you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
There's been a high-level security breach. And We need Team Sonic's immediate assistance. Project Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Shadow's story began a lot like yours, Sonic. But where you found family and friends, Shadow found only pain and loss.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with the giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
They
He
landed
is
real
much
soft.
more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
No, no!
Hey, listen.
My turn. Can we just talk about this?
Hey, Shadow ain't put no games,
He's too
y'all.
powerful.
Nope.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need you-know-who.
This is a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped me?
Doctor! We have visitors.
This is sad, Robotnik, even for you.
We need your help.
On one condition.
Let's do this!
If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it. I need room.
But, sir, I don't have the proper materials.
Found some.
When we're done, there won't be anything left.
Hey, no cheat code! What did you do?
What I had to.
With the Curious line, I was.
Welcome home, my boy.
It's impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
I am.
Are you? In the saggy flesh.
Keanu Reeves,
Mm-hmm.
Idris Elba.
Mhm.
That's what we doing. You ready, Sam? You gonna see it?
No. No. I didn't watch the last one. I
It's
watched the first
Goku
one.
versus
That's the only one I watched.
Vegeta, dog. What are you talking about?
I'm good. I'll wait till it comes home and I'll take a weekend and like do like a trilogy run, just run them all together. But no, I'm not going up there to see it.
Did you watch the Knuckles show?
Nope. Like I said, I only watched the first movie. That was the only one.
Did you like it?
It was cool.
Jokes?
I'm 100% going to see this in the theater. I listen.
Are you a Sonic fan?
Like I've played the games throughout the years, so at the end of the trailer, seeing his grandfather show up, it's actually kind of interesting because his character is like not in the story. Like he's like more like flashbacks and all. You never actually see him in the game, so I'm interested to see what they do with that. But I haven't watched Knuckles yet, but I enjoyed the movies. I think that was one of those that I had low expectations of going in initially when it came out, and then it was actually pleasantly surprised with what we got. I'm happy. Thank you, fans, for asking to change the way that he looked. And I think, honestly, I know we fans kind of bullied that in, but I'm gonna be honest, that was probably needed. But I'm in for it.
It's a no for me, big dog.
I kind of figured, but
I just don't really care about Sonic.
Mhm.
Well, Sonic was cool in like '89,
Yeah.
and again in like '99.
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, because for
Kind
me,
of
yeah.
like that first like real like 3D joint, and after that,
That's it.
Capital
I
P.
Nah, I get
That's
you.
it.
Like I played Sonic. I probably played Sonic 2 and 3 on the Genesis, and honestly, younger, really I'm sure I never finished them. But then obviously when it came and Adventure came out on the Dreamcast, that was probably my favorite game that I had on the Dreamcast. So definitely played the hell out of it. I know.
Like, he was so disgusted about what you just said.
Listen, hey, look, I understand from y'all perspective. I get it.
Like, I did.
Hey, listen, I get it from y'all perspectives, but for me, hey, listen, I wasn't old enough at that point to realize that, hey, let me go ahead and import this Dreamcast like what you guys did, and do those type of things. So I had to wait till it came out over
Blue
here.
Stinger.
God, trash, bro. But Code Veronica, like Power Stone 1 and 2, that was the thing about the Fight Collection. I was like, Power Stone 1 and 2, them joints been stuck for like a long time.
Battles in the dungeon with some Power Stone.
What?
It was brutal.
Power Stone is the original Smash Brothers, dog. Not really. Smash Brothers was on N64 first, but still,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That joint took
for us. It was definitely that.
Yeah. That joint took it to the maximum. Yeah, dog. I'm not going to see this, but I'm excited that people, again, like I'm happy that just like they keep making Sonic games and those games aren't for me. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not into it. Like I am happy that there are people and that there is a video game property that is getting a actual solid treatment that is doing well. And people want to see and like well enough to get sequels and spin-off TV shows that are like successful and so forth. Cause like, you know, I can appreciate the property for what it is. Like I never watched the Sonic cartoon, but there was all of that too. Like I'm good, been good. You know what I'm saying? So cool. Jokes. How old is your Switch?
I have the second generation one. So I'm trying to even remember when I got that. I got the Mario Red one.
Okay.
Originally, I would
never upgraded to the OLED.
Never went to the OLED. Like honestly, I only got that one because it was red.
Got it. That makes sense. Did you ever upgrade the memory? Did you have to add memory, or do you not play enough games on there that it matters?
Oh, the SD? No, I did buy one. I don't remember what size it is that's actually in there, but I've never had to upgrade it or do anything like that with it.
Will you do it anyway just because they did this?
I already know what you're gonna do. Yes, and I already thought about. I just hated the fact, like I'm like,
you getting all three or just a terabyte?
See, that's the thing. If I get one, I would get the terabyte. I'd rather have Gengar, but I'll be honest with you.
Funny to me though. Like,
honestly, I don't think I even need the terabyte for the Switch.
He was passionate about that.
Yeah, but the thing is, honestly, I don't even think I need the terabyte for the Switch. Like, there's not enough games for me to buy to warrant to need that much storage space for my Switch.
Bro, do you know that 1 terabyte joint is $130?
Yeah.
It's $130. But look how cute, dog.
But here's the thing. It's going in my Switch. I'll never look at it.
You're not going to use it anyway. You're going to keep it in the little case and just look at it like you do the cards.
Yep.
Tell people
you got Pokemon cards, right? That you put in a sleeve and you close them in a book. Them joints tucked in a drawer. You talking about how I'm pretty sure I got an original Charizard up there in a closet somewhere. You don't look at them joints either.
Bro, I have binders on binders on binders.
That's what I'm saying. You don't look at them
that
either.
Have never
They're
been
just
opened.
there. So like, how is this different?
Valid. Just put that right in with the Gengar holographic card.
As I said, I got the memory card with the Power Star from Costco because that's the way. But your joint, that joint ain't got no Pika.
Got Pikachu or Gengar or Snorlax on there.
Pika.
I'm assuming that the size of the disc makes sense for who the Pokemon are.
the
Obviously,
sizes.
Snorlax is a giant.
I think it makes sense. Gengar's not honestly is not small, but it's because he's a ghost that technically he I guess really doesn't
no
weigh
Snorlax.
anything like I think it would have been cool, like say if they would have released those and maybe one of the Pokemon games came preloaded on it. I think that could have been a nice little partner type of thing that they could have did with it. And I'd have been like, oh, but it doesn't. I already have the game, so. But I think that could have been maybe an interesting twist that you could have put on it. Extra content. Maybe you get the Pokemon that's on there. You get a special edition of the Pokemon in the game that you can only get if you had bought the memory card. I think that could have been something they could have done.
No. These joints are just cards, dog. I'm looking at the joint on the website just to double check.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. The only thing about they just happened to call out that they are officially licensed Nintendo Switch micro SD cards, but
they may go like I don't know. Are they only being sold through like the Nintendo shop, or can you get them from like
I'm looking at them on Western Digital website right now. Hey, look. Let's find out. A one, a two. There you go. Western Digital's website. It just happens to show basically each one. And you just pick, add the card, estimate availability in 3 to 4 weeks. Buy direct from Western Digital.
Yeah, no.
And then it's got a lifetime limited warranty, which is trash. Curveball. Let's talk about lifetime warranties for a second, just because that just came up.
Hey, Sin, this is one of the most random curveballs I think.
Right.
I said if something says it has a lifetime warranty, what do you think that means?
It should mean exactly what it says. It should mean you have a freaking lifetime warranty.
But what does that mean?
It means you got like 2 years for it's over. You got
your lifetime? Is it? What does that mean?
I think warranty of the product itself.
Jokes? What's a lifetime warranty mean?
We worked in retail long enough to know, like it's defects with how the thing works. So,
well, that's the limited part.
Yeah,
that's the limited part of the lifetime warranty.
But lifetime, I'm not quite sure if it means. Are you talking about the lifetime of the product or the lifetime of or the shelf life, like how long it's in production? I feel like maybe that's where that is, because the moment they stop production of it, like, hey, listen, I need another 512 memory card, even if it ain't the Gengar one. Oh yeah, we don't support it now because we don't make it no more. I don't know.
Under a lot of circumstances, lifetime warranty is the lifetime of the product, but there's a caveat to that. There is a quote unquote life expectancy of the product. So for instance, it could be a product is only expected to be good for 10 years. That is considered the lifetime of the product. And so if you have it for 13 years, even though it says lifetime warranty, you go to try to cash that in, they're gonna be like, nah, this ended like 3 years ago. How was that lifetime? Well, no. It's the lifetime of the product, but that is the lifetime of the product. Yeah, but like these aren't designed to last longer than 10 years. So after 10 years, you got nothing.
Where does it say that on my lifetime warranty?
Oh, it's in there. Oh, trust me when I say. Oh, it's in there. And listen, did y'all see the ridiculousness that happened with the lady that died?
Disney.
From eating in a restaurant at Disney?
That is so disgusting how they were like. I think they finally said they're not going to use that whole arbitration thing with the Disney Plus and all that now. But it's disgusting that because the husband signed up for Disney Plus, and because of the whole arbitration agreement thing that you have to do, they can't take it to court. They had to sell it like in the, like small claims or whatever it is. I'm like, that's disgusting that you're trying to use the Disney Plus subscription to null and void what happened to this woman.
Wow.
Here's the thing. From a legal standpoint, right?
From a legal standpoint, it's nothing. It's
they're right, bro. Like there's just no, and it's not the fact that he signed up for Disney Plus, so to speak. It's the fact that in order to sign up for Disney Plus, which all he did was a trial, the fact that in order to sign up for Disney Plus, you have to create a Disney account. And when you create the account for Disney, you check the little user agreement that says that if anything happens with Disney on their properties, blah, 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 you agree not to go to court, but to go to arbitration instead. And so because this restaurant where they ate, which technically isn't a Disney restaurant, so basically what happened, Cuddy, is a man and his wife went to a restaurant that was at like basically what is like downtown Disney. When they got to the restaurant, she has some very specific, she's like a medical doctor or something like that anyway, or was, she died. They have very specific requests and specifically asked like, hey, can you make sure that these things are not in the food, because she has a very, very severe allergy. They assured her no issues with the food, nothing in the food, whatever. We'll make sure. The waiter went back, double checked with the cook staff, had a manager also talk to them. Food came out, and there were like, they saw other people getting stuff that was like special, had like flags in it. Like what they'll do a lot of times at a restaurant is if they change something or do, they put like a little flag, like a little red flag on like a toothpick or something like that in it. Their joint didn't have any of that. They asked again. They're like, nope, we made sure you're good. They eat, they separate. She goes shopping with like her mother, so his mother-in-law or something like that. He goes off to go do something else, and she begins to have going to anaphylactic shock while she's in this store shopping. Tries to call, gives herself an EpiPen, doesn't work, dies at the hospital. They sue the restaurant and also sue Disney. Technically, Disney doesn't own the restaurant, but the restaurant is on property that's owned by Disney. That's like, how it works. So they sued them both, partially because if you look at, so he looked on the web, he went to Disney's website, found the restaurant on Disney's website, where Disney's website actually says that it's safe. They can, make food adjustments, stuff like that or whatever. It doesn't actually link you directly to the website, but you can look at the menu on Disney's website. So it doesn't take you to a separate website for the restaurant, blah, blah, blah. So in the long and short of it, they sued the restaurant and Disney, and Disney's lawyers went, looked at it, and said two things. One, the husband had signed up for a trial of Disney Plus. When he did that, he created a Disney account. And when he created his Disney account, he signed off on the agreement that says that he agrees to go to arbitration if there's ever anything with Disney. It basically says like anywhere, any whatever, they can't go to court. That doesn't mean they can't technically sue or that they won't have a dealing, but they can't take them to court. They have to go to a third party arbitrator. They got to go to arbitration. The other thing that the Disney lawyer said was they also booked their tickets for Epcot using the same account like a couple of years later. They never went. They booked the trip, but they never went. They never did it, but they used that. And when they went back to their account, because it makes you like reaffirm you've read all of the agreement, whatever, and you agree to it. He checked off the checkbox, bought the tickets for Epcot or whatever, and even though they never went, he signed off on it. So the Disney lawyers are like, he reaffirmed that he read and knew that we have to go to arbitration. When they bought their tickets, he went back in and did it again. So like twice we have that this man said that he read it and knew it and was okay with it. So like technically, yeah, but there was so much backlash that they were like, all right, well, we'll go to court. You know, we'll go to court. Probably because Disney's not really likely to be found at fault, although there is a possibility that because they represented the restaurant on their own website, and it's reasonable for him to assume that Disney is responsible in some way for that, you know, but that's just kind of like, that's where we are. What's up, Andrew?
Ooh.
Oh, man.
No.
Hey, listen, Andrew, I don't like the way this sounds. Like, I
Not
know
at
this
all.
Is, you know, one of your clients. It sounds like we need to go take care of something, man. I hope you feel better.
Absolutely.
You know, keep your lights low and just follow your doctor's orders. Don't try not to overdo it. We appreciate you being here for sure.
100%.
So yeah, curveball's over. You like that, Sam?
I feel like that curveball. That curveball when it's like another curveball.
Yeah, but it was good. Like, did you learn something?
I didn't know about that story. So hey, I learned something new today.
I mean, that's important stuff. Having it in the world right around you. Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go see Alien, Romulus?
Did not.
Do you want to?
I'm not a big Aliens fan. I'm probably like 2 movies behind. I haven't watched the last like 2 Aliens movies that come out. So
that's cool. When you went to see Deadpool, try to get a popcorn bucket.
100%.
No luck, right?
Nope.
Then you try to have Sin get you a popcorn bucket.
Yep.
No luck, right?
Nope.
You know what's happening tomorrow?
Batman bucket.
Oh, shucks, man. The Batman 85th anniversary popcorn buckets, bruh. Drop tomorrow, dog.
All right, that's a dope popcorn bucket.
Tomorrow, dog, with a working light inside the joint, bro.
And who's gonna have this at what location?
It's AMC.
It's AMC's.
All right,
it's AMC. So it's the 85th anniversary, and they're re-showing the Batman.
See, that was the piece I was trying to figure. Nowhere did they say that there was like a movie or something being attached to it. I was trying to figure. Now let me see something.
That's what it is. So,
they just be going through there to get that bucket.
Starting on Wednesday, August 28th, AMC theaters will begin selling a new Batman popcorn bucket, which is called the Batman 85th Popcorn Collectible Concession Vessel.
Okay.
This comes alongside a re-release of 2022's The Batman, which will include a sneak peek at The Penguin, the movie's official spin-off series, being released on Sunday, September 8th. The popcorn bucket is a near prop quality bat signal popcorn bucket that can light up with the classic bat signal. Along with a large popcorn, the set will be available for purchase on its own for $34.99 plus tax. Also available will be a 32-ounce drink cup with images of the Batmobile that morph and move on the cup itself. The cup by itself is $11.99. Additionally, fans can purchase a popcorn bucket and collectible as a bundle for $49.99 plus tax.
Okay.
And I did see something about there being like some sort of an additional cost if you buy it online,
which I'm probably gonna have to do because like I just looked. We only have 2 theaters in the area that are doing it, and it's either going to be for us Hoffman and Columbia.
Well, thank you for that information, Jokes. If I'm coming in late after Dynamite tomorrow, you know why.
The movie is at 6 o'clock.
Early, yeah, but like, but I think the buckets are supposed to go on sale. I think first thing in the morning.
Oh, hold up, let me get on it because if that's how I'm gonna have to do it.
I do believe. I think it's first thing in the morning.
Because that honestly, that is probably one of the best buckets that they have done. Period.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, dog. Y'all know y'all give me, y'all act like I hate Batman. I don't hate Batman. I just have to keep saying that.
Because when they first, I saw the video, And when they first saw it, it was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they did the joint and turned it on and put it in. And I was like, wait, that joint actually works.
I'm trying to see if I can buy it on the app tomorrow.
Yeah, because I know that joint. They gonna try to buy that thing up, bro. Like that joint is going to be.
If I can get it, if I can get at either one, I am going there right after work. Either one.
If I can't get it online, I need you to try to get 2, unless they try to tell you they trying to only give you 1.
Because you know people gonna go in there and try to get a bunch of them.
Oh yeah. So we'll see. But yep.
Oh,
making that move tomorrow. I was gonna try to go to the one by my job, but since you said they don't have it, they don't have it. Those 2. So
yeah,
right, cool.
only those 2.
Those are my 2 AMC theaters I like to go to. So hey,
and they are in Dolby Cinema too, by the way.
Of course.
I'm not going to see that movie again.
Oh no!
Walk in that joint. Let me get that bucket and let me get that cup. I'm out, dog. What you talking about?
You know what? Matter of fact, go ahead, fill it up. I got to watch Dynamite tonight. Let me go have some popcorn.
I ain't seen that joint anyway. That theater is almost
as Catwoman. I'd rather go support us by seeing Blink twice than go see this joint again, which I'm trying to orchestrate for Thursday, maybe.
Yeah, I just need to see what time the joint goes available so I can at least attempt to get it online.
What's the move on Beetlejuice next week?
Want to see Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice is one of Tatiana's favorite movies. So, there's a
jump in the line, rock the body in time. Okay, I believe it. Hey, let's go. I'm down.
And I kind of want that bucket too, but I think the coolest
Sandworm
one
joint
is Cinemark, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the square shaped one. It's got like the black and white stripes, and it's got like the figurine, almost like the figurine on top. I think it's Cinemark.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Because I was just looking at it. Hold on. Official guide for Beetlejuice popcorn buckets. Let's see. Let's just share the page real quick.
You know what? Actually, I think I see the one that she's probably gonna want. There's also they're doing a bucket of the recently deceased book.
Right, this one.
Yep.
That's AMC. Yeah, that's the AMC one.
Because I think, hey, Boo, I know you're watching it. Don't you have that as a purse?
Cups too, though.
Don't you have that as? Didn't you get that as a purse? I think. I'm almost certain.
Hey, they didn't put a price on it. This is the Regal popcorn bucket. It's the Sandworm.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the Tombstone.
And then the Cinemark. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yep, affirmative.
That's Regal. This is the Cinemark joint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at that.
Regal is this joint.
Now looking at that one, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that.
Hold tight. This is the Cinemark joint. So what is it? I guess there's 2.
They have 2.
That's disgusting. Cups are cool though. I don't know, dog. Popcorn bucket thing is getting out of control.
Hey, listen, theaters got to do something. And
you're right. This is not what I thought it was going to be. We have talked many times about how theaters were going to save themselves, bro.
Boy, oh boy, popcorn buckets is the same.
Dog, them popcorn
working
buckets,
right now for them.
They can't cost more than like $7.
$5 or $6.
They can't, bro. Like, there's no way. There's no way, bro. But what you gonna do?
Hey, Sam, the only thing they got to do now with these anime movies that be coming out, if they can figure out some way to do like actual special ones with that too.
Yeah, but
I don't know that any of those joints, they tend not to like show like in enough theaters,
and that's valid.
Yeah, the most you get is
to
like
hit that.
cups
So like
or a bucket with it on the bucket. Like it's just a standard bucket with it saying Spy Family on it. Like I got, like that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be. I don't think that's gonna be the thing that happens.
It just depends on which ones. Like I think they could do that with like Attack on Titan. I feel like they could do if we were to get the movie release over. I feel like that one probably would be warranted to do something special.
What would the bucket even be?
A colossal Titan, a colossal.
It would be just a colossal Titan head or something like that.
No, I think you said.
Well, Aaron's head.
Yeah, that would be it. Spoiler, kind of, but I feel like by then everyone should have seen that. But
I mean, I don't know, dog. Again, the releases for those are so like far and few between in terms of like how many theaters they run in. And you said that they still play that Nicole Kidman thing at AMC.
Most certainly do. They played it before Deadpool. They played it before Deadpool.
They need to reshoot that joint and put a popcorn bucket in her hand. They need a Nicole Kidman popcorn bucket. Hey, dog, that joint will sell. If they just make that joint look like that, she got on one of them P. Diddy suits. Walking around the joint, shiny suit joint, dancing around, more money, more problems joint. She act like you wouldn't buy that bucket, son. I need that Kidman bucket. I need that Kidman bucket. We won't stop. Take that. Take that bucket. Hey, dog, it's terrible where he is right now, and that statement is a bad. That's a cool buddy. That did not age well. Sin.
Yeah.
Did you catch up on The Last Ronin?
No.
Jokes, did you catch up on the Ninja Turtles joint, The Last Ronin?
Nope.
All right, I'm getting ready to ruin something for y'all. So check this out, right? The new version. So you know they're doing The Last Ronin 2 now. That started running. And they're only on like the second issue. But the Turtles have like superpowers.
I did see something about that. I didn't see what their powers were, but I did see something like that.
So basically what's happened is, all right, spoilers for The Last Ronin. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm getting ready to ruin this. Basically, at the end of The Last Ronin, April mutates 4 new turtles to try to like recreate the turtles. And in the series in between The Last Ronin and The Last Ronin 2, April and Casey's daughter, Casey Marie Jones, raises the turtles. Okay. So in this joint, in when this one starts, they're teenagers now. So the joint in between kind of shows them getting their training and learning their stuff, whatever. The turtles themselves they have all mastered all 4 weapons. So there's not like that distinction between them like you can make, between the other ones. So it's kind of like, how are you going to determine? You can look at them and tell them apart kind of thing, but like what kind of separates them or whatever. So they're all named after. So in the first run, when Michelangelo is trying to like fix everything, he goes to like multiple countries. And so each of these turtles is named after the number 1, but in like the language of one of the countries he visited.
Okay.
And so he named them that way so that they would know that they're better as one. Like they're better as a team, as a unit, than individually is kind of like the thought process behind their names. So like one of them's name is Uno. You probably could have guessed that. It's Yi, Moha, Uno, and Odin. And so in the most recent book, in a fight, Odin basically gets hit and kind of paralyzed. And then they basically find out that like he's okay because he has this ability to turn his skin like rock hard to basically make him like impervious. Yi, who is the sister of the group, at the end of that same book, does this thing where she creates like an electric force field. Again, this is new. They didn't know that this was a thing that they could do. So at the end of the last book, one of the other two, I can't remember who, has like, it's like blue. They're like blue, like a light blue skin with like black spots, and they can reverse them so that like they can basically make their skin black with just like one white spot for like camouflage. So like they can move more stealthy in the dark kind of thing. And they don't know what the last one's ability is going to be yet. So they're kind of like starting to, hold on, let me show you. They're starting to kind of dig in, and the story's getting really interesting because at the end of the last run, the last Ronin, like April basically gets told that they're, like trying to recreate what happened to them and make mutants or whatever. There could be something that is terribly wrong with one of them. It could be more devastating to the world than trying to save the world. They're now at a place where they have like gotten the Foot Clan had control over like the planet. They've basically gotten that back, but now it's basically a post-apocalyptic world though now, and they're kind of trying to get that back. It's a super interesting story, dog. Like the joint's kind of dope. And for all intents and purposes, every time they've tried to do something where they like introduce a new turtle or kind of do an add-on, I just been kind of like, man,
yeah, have them in.
Oh, this ain't. It don't feel the same. But this, like, they mutants. Why can't they have powers? You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like it didn't even bother me. You know what I'm saying? And like the fact that all of them are trained to use all of the weapons again, which is basically what. Again, spoilers for the last Ronin, but if you don't know, Michelangelo was the only one that survived. All the rest of them got killed. And so he's by himself. But he also uses all the weapons. He uses all 4 weapons. So that's part of why when the comic starts, you don't know who the surviving turtle is. You don't know which one it is because he uses everything. Which is just, again, kind of dope. So yeah, this joint is doing something.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be honest, that joint needs an Amazon Prime Invincible
treatment for
animated show, bruh. That's what they need, bruh.
I can get behind that.
And stay behind it. But unfortunately, Paramount owns it and they will never do it. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, unless they try to greenlight it and then decided not to do it, and then maybe Amazon picks it up like they did with the Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, listen. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Get on board. Just go ahead and get on board now. Find a favorite. Pick one. You know what I'm saying? Find a favorite. Pick one.
Okay. Who would be?
Jokes, are you a Michelangelo guy? Who's your turtle?
Raphael.
Oh yeah, red. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't even know why. It just didn't. I know me and Sin Donatello guys.
All day.
Which is both staff guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But Loading Snacks colors are not made out of Donatello. Not like green turtle with the, you know what I'm saying? It's not quite what it is. But almost. You know what I'm saying?
Close enough.
Sin?
Yeah.
What's going on in Thriller Park?
This week we are doing episodes 17 through 19. We're almost close to the end. There might be a week or two left after this one, but we're at the point now of season 2 where we've just hit the top of the roller coaster, and now it's just going to be nothing but madness for the rest of it. And I'm so excited to see how this arc is going to close. Now that our main character got everything in position, he's ready to put his plan into action. So just see how it all comes. It's going to be a dope viewing this week. So Patreon members, you'll get episodes 13 through 15 tomorrow. Everybody else, you'll get it Thursday morning, and Thursday night 9:30. Join us in Discord.
Jokes.
Yes, sir.
Last week,
Mm-hmm.
you guys went on a field trip.
Just a little field trip.
It was some posts from the SmackDown. What's going on in the world of wrestling, bro? What's happening? What's going on?
Good time at SmackDown. But this weekend, we have WWE. We have Bash in Berlin. That is going to be on Saturday. It is at 1:00 Eastern time because of the fact that it's in Berlin. So we are going to record our predictions for that and have that uploaded before Saturday. So you guys will be able to go double check our predictions and kind of make some choices alongside of us. So stay tuned for that coming by the end of the week.
Excellent. Heads up, I feel like I mentioned this, but we were supposed to be doing Nerdpocalypse September 7th. There was some sort of an issue on the venues, and it now got moved. That has been pushed back to November. We'll give details on that later. Right now, it looks like the only major thing we have happening in September is Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Comic-Con? Maybe. There's some other things to discuss, but right now, that's the one that's kind of set in stone. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on what's going on with that. If you all would do me the favor and just look for and check out, we have multiple shows that are on like Spotify podcasts, Apple podcasts, weekly. This show itself now does go up as a podcast. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on iHeartRadio, it's on, So if you missed part of the show, if you want to go back and catch it, you don't have to do it on YouTube. We appreciate that. You don't have to do it on Facebook. You don't have to go to Twitch. You can just put it on in the car and listen if you want to kind of catch up if you missed the beginning of it or had to leave and missed the end of it or whatever it is. Those are available usually by the next day. Sometimes I gotta do a little extra editing, but usually by the next day it's available. A lot of times by the end of that evening, it's available, but usually by the next day that's available. The Loading Snacks Movie Club, which is like a very like one of the highest rated movie podcasts on Apple Podcasts. So Movie Club is available as an audio. Spoiler Boys is available as audio. We are working on getting The Finisher up and available as an audio. We like for Spotify, we process the video as well, but working on just again kind of trying to get ourselves wherever you are to make it as convenient as possible for you to find us and listen and chime in. You can comment in a lot of those spaces and so forth. So just want to make sure that information is out there. Outside of that, I think we can prepare to shut it down. We are already kind of putting plans in action for Extra Life, which is the first weekend of November. We're going to be trying to partner with some additional people to do some like auction kind of stuff and some other things like that ahead of getting our games together. But we'll be talking about that earlier and more often this year. We want to get a little further ahead of it so we can make sure that we're doing as much as we can to try to raise as much money as we can for Children's Miracle Network hospitals this year. And then following that, we will be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Loading Snacks. Oh my goodness. Jokes, you were so young. Look for some bloopers, some old footage of us doing terrible things. It's gonna be some good times. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Jokes?
Yes, sir.
Tell the folks what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we are out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.